Hi, I'm Ami, and this is my book talks for adults. And first, I gotta say, excuse me for my voice, or if I'm coughing, or if I'm speaking a little bit too low. I'm still getting over sinus infection, cough, headache, everything. So here we go. So the first book that I have to share with you guys is called Long Way Down, and it's written by Jason Reynolds. Long Way Down is a very powerful graphic novel that deals with the reality and issues of gun violence. It's an ongoing cycle of anger, pain, and hurt. In this story, we learn about William, who is ready to cast revenge on the person who murdered his brother Sean. William rides the elevator of his apartment down, and as he does, every level he reaches, there's a person who Will used to know who was also murdered and affected by gun violence. Ghosts of William's past haunt him and tell him the stories of their lives, along with the repeating cycle of hurt that was led by revenge. This novel is heart-wrenching, compelling, and it makes you think a lot about the reality and effects of gun violence. I recommend this novel to everyone. It doesn't have an age limit. This topic is relevant for all ages, and hands down, it's one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. The storytelling and the images are so impactful that they will stay with you even after you finish it. This is a picture of William, and he's just kind of contemplating. It says, "The rules weren't meant to be broken, they were meant for the broken to follow." And these are some of the images here. It says, "I won't pretend that Sean was the kind of guy who was home before curfew. After he turned 18, our mother used to tell him, 'I know you're young, gotta get it out. But just remember when you're walking in the nighttime, make sure the nighttime ain't walking into you.'" So these are some images of Sean's mother and of William's mother. And throughout this book, there's a lot of impactful imagery in here that resonates a lot with William. Excuse me. It's just heart-wrenching, and you get to, as you start reading the story, it starts getting to you. It's very heart-wrenching and compelling, like I mentioned, and the imagery and all the images in this graphic novel are also so beautiful and fit so well in the story. So if you want to learn more about William and his story, will he break that cycle of revenge, you should read Long Way Down. The next book that I have to share with you guys is called Five Total Strangers by Natalie D. Richards. This is a story about Mira. She accepts a car ride of a stranger during the holidays when the plane she is on is stranded due to a snowstorm. Her seatmate, Harper, and her three friends offer Mira a ride home when they rent a car. Each person in this car is hiding secrets, though. Mira quickly notices that things start to get weird. Things in the car start to disappearing, and something or someone seems like they're sabotaging the car ride. This story has a lot of mystery to it. Once you start reading it, you can't wait to figure out who and what they're up to. Is Mira safe? Will she find out who is sabotaging the car on her way home? And I want to read to you guys a part of this book. Let me find the page. Chapter 27. The letter slides from my hand, floating down to the scattered envelopes below. I try to step back and my knees go to water. I hear Harper and Brecken at the front tires. The shink of the shovel over and over. Kayla approaches, her steps crunching. I pitch forward, catching myself on the side of the car with my hands. I can't breathe. Can't breathe, but I have to. Excuse me. Can't breathe, but I have to. I force air into my squeezed shut throat and ignore the thumping of my heart. The chatter of my teeth. Think. I need to think. My gaze drifts down to the wallet, the phone, the envelopes. They all show an address and Tribune Street. Brain searches every crevice of my memory, trying to make sense of it. What does that address mean to me? It's familiar. I know that street. The next story that I have to share with you guys is called Flamin' Hot, written by Richard Montañez. And this story, before I begin telling you guys about this story, it's a memoir, first of all. And this book has actually just been released, been made into a movie by executive producer and director Eva Longoria. If anyone cares to watch, it's, I believe, available on Hulu. So this memoir is about Richard Montañez, who went from being a janitor to a top executive at Frito-Lay Company. It's a story of an immigrant and the American dream. He became the first Mexican American who got promoted to the PepsiCo company. It's a story of unity, family, and the American dream. In this book, he states that he came up with the idea of the Flamin' Hot Cheeto. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Richard Montañez's claim of being the creator of the hot Cheeto because, excuse me, as I was saying, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Richard Montañez's claim of being the creator of the hot Cheeto because there's no paper trail to back up his claim. Frito-Lay claims he did play a part in creating it, but that there's other people who were also involved in creating the hot Cheeto. Montañez claims that all his hard work came from his own kitchen, testing multiple recipes with his family in his own kitchen. Learn more about Richard Montañez and how he made his dream a reality by reading his memoir, Flamin' Hot. The next story that I want to talk about is called Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, this book is a romance film, and it tells the story of Alexis and Daniel. Alexis is an emergency room physician. One night, she gets stuck in a ditch, and Daniel saves her from her car being stuck on it. She visits a diner that Daniel frequently goes to, and they go home together, and they have a one-night stand that turns into something more. She lives in a big city, and he's a small-town guy. They live about 2 hours apart. No, they live about 2 hours away from each other, and soon they start to realize that they have to make their relationship work. She has her own family legacy to live up to, and he does too. She's unhappy working at the hospital, but feels like she has to follow her parents' footsteps on becoming a doctor. Daniel runs his small town. Generations before him have run that small town as well. He has his own legacy to live up to, being the mayor of his town. Daniel and Alexis form a relationship and try to figure out how to make their relationship work. But there's a lot of things that are holding them both back. Alexis is 10 years older than Daniel. The distance between them, living 2 hours apart, and there's a lot of reasons why their relationship shouldn't work out. Daniel also has his own issues. He has a deadbeat mom that went away when he was 16. Can Alexis and Daniel live up to their family's expectations of them? And can they make the relationship work? Find out more about it by reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. The next book that I have to talk about is called What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. 3 friends, Naomi, Liv, and Cassidy, are playing in the woods one day when tragedy strikes. Naomi gets stabbed. There was a serial killer known to be in the area, and the girls were playing in the woods alone. Naomi almost dies. She gets stabbed multiple times. She gets out, and she and her friends help to put away a serial killer by recounting what happened that day. The girls used to always spend their time in the woods playing the goddess game, the game they played with their own rituals in the woods. Fast forward time, and Naomi changes her name. She is living far away from the town. She is a well-known photographer, known for her work and her gruesome appearance. She takes a trip back home to see her father and her friends. All three friends, Naomi, Cassidy, and Liv, made up, and they have a secret from when they were children in the woods. Liv decides she's ready to talk about the secret they had in the woods. Within a day of Naomi being home, tragedy strikes again. This story leads to a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of grief, especially to Naomi, who doesn't remember anything from the attack. She goes out looking for the answers. This is a mystery and a thriller novel. Will Naomi remember what really happened to her that night of the attack? This is a great mystery thriller. Every page has a new clue and revelations to the story. Read more about what lies in the woods. The next book that I have to share with you guys is called All Her Little Secrets by Wanda M. Morris. Now this book was very, very juicy. It's very fast-paced. It's a fast-paced thriller. The story is about Elise. She has a dark and haunted past. She manages to escape her upbringing, and she becomes an Ivy League graduate who works as an assistant attorney for a corporation. In the beginning of the story, Elise is having a secret affair with the head attorney, who's her boss. Because she's having an affair, she's in trouble. Meeting her boss leads to her discovering his body. He is shot dead at his desk, and Elise discovers the body. Upon discovering his body, Elise makes the decision to reverse her tracks because she thinks that people will blame her for her boss's death because she was his mistress. So the whole story is a big mystery on who killed her boss, and as soon as her boss dies, they make her the head attorney, replacing her boss. And all of this happens within 24 hours. So when that happens, Elise is just kind of like shocked by it, and she's just trying to figure out who murdered her boss / lover. She becomes determined to figure it out, and she has questions like, why is her corporation so quick to move on from her boss's death? Does the corporation have anything to do with his death? This leads to putting her life in danger, as well as the people that are close to her as well. In this book, there's a lot of flashbacks of Elise as a child, and we get to see the story of Elise when she was younger, of what happened to her when she was younger, that way we can know how she became the woman that she is today. There's a lot of family drama involved in this book. Along with family drama in this book, there's corruptions, in the corporations, betrayals, and it's just a dark, twisted thriller. It's a good thriller that makes you think you have the story figured out, but in reality, you don't. So, this is All Her Little Secrets by Wanda M. Morris. And I encourage you all to check this book out because I just couldn't stop reading it, and I wanted to figure out what had happened to the boss and who did it, and yeah, this story will have you hooked for sure. The next book is called Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. This illustrated book is about an alien who is sent to Earth to understand humans. He doesn't fit in with the other aliens, so the other aliens leave him on Earth, and they tell him that he has a mission to stay and investigate humans. He goes around Earth and talks to creatures and things like snails, trees, birds, onions, ghosts. And every time the alien interacts with a creature or a thing, he learns more. He learns some kind of like life lesson. This is a book that applies to life in general, and it has a strong message about being comfortable with who you are in your own life journey. This book is heartwarming and it pulls on your heartstrings. The images in this book are very simple, yet very impactful. This is a great story for those who feel lost, those who feel uneasy with death and different subjects. There's strong messages in this book about life, death, hopelessness, and much more. By looking at this book, you might think it's a silly little story, but it's a book that captures tough subjects and simplifies it with images and sweet messages. Discover all the things Jomny and the alien discovers on Earth, and everyone's an alien when you're an alien too. And I want to read a little part of the book for you guys. So in this scene, he's talking to nothing. And it says, being afraid of death is the same as being afraid of nothing. Somehow I am not comforted. But how can you be afraid of me? I am not made of anything. There are no scary things inside me, see? Now I'm afraid of everything. Wait, no, please do not be afraid. Can you just not be afraid at all? This is another part of the story when it talks about happiness. It says, if you're always happy, are you ever truly happy? Or is happiness only something we see in you because we know sadness? Here's a picture of Johnny the alien with a dog. It's very cute. Wait, no, don't do this. I might sting you. There's little images. It's so cute. And then there's another part of the book where it goes into sadness. It says, never be sad about the past. It has already happened and you cannot change it. Instead, focus on what truly matters, being sad about the future. I recommend this book to everyone. It would make a great book as a gift. It's encouraging and so heartfelt. The next book that I have is called Good Morning, Good Night, Little Pep Talks I Have for Me and You from Lin-Manuel Miranda, and illustrations by Jomny Sun. I really enjoyed this book because it has literally a page of good morning and then a good night. So if you wanted to, you could save a page a day. It's not, I feel like it's not meant to be read in a whole night or a whole hour, because it is easy reads like that, but I feel like you can read a page for the morning and then at night. It's sweet little messages like that, and it's a very enjoyable read every morning and every night. This book has sweet, encouraging messages about just waking up every day and trying to have the best day you possibly can. In the back of the book, it says, Right here, it has a little good morning and it has a little good night. I'll read both of these to you guys. It says, good morning. Eyes up, hearts up, minds sharp, compassion on full blast. Sips coffee. Okay, let's go. So that's a little morning message. And then the good night part says, good night. Eyes shut, hearts open, minds calm, empathy on full blast. Sips tea. Okay, let's go. I want to read this good morning and good night part to you guys. Good morning. Before you let the world in, make a little space for yourself. Cup of coffee, tidy the counter, morning quiet. Savor the best part of that dream you had for one more second. Woo, okay. Have at it, world. Good night. Before you turn the world down, make a little space for yourself. Brush your teeth, tidy the counter, put down the phone. Savor the best part of the day for one more second. Woo, okay. Have at it, dreams. Yeah, this book just has really sweet messages and really beautiful, simple art as well.